Today is Saturday, April the 17th. This is sort of a preemptive recording is what this is. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. Okay, usually I'm recording in a different area. You usually see my bed in the background while I'm recording for those who watch. But for whatever reason, my podcast is more popular than my videos. I guess people enjoy listening to my voice. I'll take whatever I can get. If you like listening to my voice, I'll go along with it. And actually, this is about my voice. Hence why I'm recording my daily thought on Saturday instead of Monday. Again, this is a preemptive recording. First of all, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Bullhorn, Overcast, and several other podcasting platforms. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Thank you to everyone who's been listening to the episodes. I sincerely appreciate it. I was looking at the numbers for this month of April, and the numbers were through the roof compared to what they've been in the past. So for all of you who have been listening to the tarot card energy readings or to my daily thought or to my movie recommendations or whatever, thank you, thank you, thank you. I sincerely appreciate it, and I sincerely mean that. Okay, now here's the update. And for those who have been listening to the podcast, some of you already know what the deal is. I have been dealing with issues I need to learn how to enunciate and put diction on my words. I have been dealing with issues in regards to my ears, nose, and throat. I've been having sinus issues. And it has affected my throat. The crazy thing is that I've been dealing with my primary care doctor, and when they look at my throat, they're like, there isn't anything wrong from what we're seeing. So I decided to go to an allergist, which I also mentioned on my podcast. I went to an allergist. She tested me for a ton of things. She tested me for a lot of environmental allergies, and she tested me for a few food allergies just to make sure. And she was like, your tests are unremarkable, which means you're not really allergic to anything thus far. And I sent her an Excel spreadsheet of some of the foods that I eat regularly. And she told me that I would have to pick what foods I would like to test for when it comes to allergies. However, my allergist and my primary care doctor both said that I need to see an ear, nose, and throat specialist. And that is what I have been in the process of doing, is finding an ear, nose, and throat specialist that works for me. Because honestly, I'm not a fan of visiting the doctor unless I absolutely have to. Today was one of those days. I went to UCLA emergency room this morning because yesterday, the drainage that's been happening with my sinuses, my ears, nose, and throat, my throat has felt like it wants to close up. And it's been affecting my breathing, where my lungs are fine. And even when I got there, after they were checking on my vitals and stuff, she was like, your breathing is really good. I'm like, yeah, I had told the doctor that when I was at the hospital. I was like, I have the lungs of Pavarotti. I'm like, it isn't my lungs. I was like, I feel like there's something in my throat is what I feel like. And even though I sound okay when I speak, even though it's a little bit scratchy, for the most part, I think it just needs more investigation. I need to figure out why all of this drainage is happening, because this has been going on from time to time ever since I had mono, which for those who have been following the podcast, that's not a secret. I got mono because I shared food with someone. Word of advice, don't share food with people. And that was last year, March of last year. And my body has been doing crazy things ever since. But luckily, I still, I'm still here. I still get past issues. And one thing about mono is once you have it, you have it. You always have it. You can't pass it to anyone after a certain period of time. But some people, they can recover from mono in a month or two. Some people, it can take them almost a year and a half to recover from mono after having it. So, but the thing about mono is, and even my allergist said this because my allergist deals with internal medicine as well, just like my primary care doctor deals with internal medicine. My allergist has said when someone has mono, it can rewire their entire immune system. So again, crazy things have been happening since last year. But yesterday, when my right nostril was having issues with air and my throat was acting like it wanted to close up because I don't know if it was an allergic reaction, even though my allergist is saying I'm not allergic to anything, or what. I just wasn't getting air, as much air as I would have liked. But I was like, you know what? I'll wake up in the morning and see how I feel. So I woke up this morning and the postnasal drip, sinuses, was heavy. And then it was still more of, so I'm like, I'll just go ahead and I'll go to UCLA, which mind you, UCLA was further away from me than the other hospital that's closer to me. UCLA is like 17 miles and the other hospital's like 2 miles. But the reason I did with UCLA is because my primary care doctor is within UCLA. So I was able to drive myself. I did that early this morning around about 5 something, give or take. And they asked me the questions because they wanted to make sure I didn't have it. And by it, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, no, I was like, I don't even socialize with people. And I said, it's not that. I was like, I can breathe. That's fine. I was like, it's the obstruction of air. That's the issue. It's the sinuses. That's the issue. So 2 doctors looked at me and they're saying, well, we don't see anything that signals that it could be a possible anaphylactic shock or anything life-threatening is what they were saying. And then also they did a chest scan and an EKG, make sure everything was on the up and up because I felt like because I wasn't getting air because my throat wanted to close up, that there might be issues with the heart. But the other doctor, because I had 2 doctors there, I felt special. He was saying that, no, your EKG came back fine. Everything's on the up and up. And then later on, the nurse came in and she said, your vitals, that's when she said, your vitals are good. She's like, your breathing is amazing. And also my blood pressure was low because for those who follow my podcast, I have hypertension. So high blood pressure for those who don't know. And my blood pressure was low or low for my standards. And that was good. So, and the crazy thing was, like I said, when I arrived at UCLA, by the time I got there, I started to feel a little bit better. But I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm here for a reason. Let me just go ahead and go in and see what they say to maybe put my mind at ease and make sure that everything is on the up and up. So heart-wise, everything is on the up and up. Throat-wise, I am still in search of an ENT. And yeah, that is what I will be working on. This episode will be Monday's episode. You'll be watching this on Monday. It's just that I recorded it today because Monday I'm not doing any recording. I'm not doing any podcast. I'm not recording anything on Monday. So I've recorded this episode. I just finished doing the last mid-month energy tarot card reading. which was for Sagittarius, which Sagittarius had an amazing reading, by the way. And doing that, and then I have to record one more episode for my other podcast, and that will be it for the May tarot card energy reading. I don't know what the status of that will be. I don't know if I will start that the coming weekend, next weekend, which today is the 17th, so 24th. I don't know if I'll start those on the 24th or maybe the week after that. I'm kind of trying to see what the deal is with my throat, is what I'm doing. And when I do the tarot card energy readings, whether they're the monthlies or the mid-months or what have you, or any podcast, it does, especially the tarot readings, it takes a lot out of me. However, I have good news. I ordered a blank tarot card deck, and it's going to allow me to incorporate some of my own things in the tarot card deck that I plan on just creating myself. And those will be more specifically for anyone who needs to hear them readings for the collective, which aren't for a specific sign. It's just a general reading for the collective. So I think the last one I did was Change Your Locks, was the last one I did for the general reading for the collective. So this is kind of where I'm at now. I want to make sure that all of my listeners know what's going on, because on the off chance that when I finally am able to get in the office of an ear, nose, and throat specialist, on the off chance they're like, yeah, you might need to rest your voice, or you might need to do this related to your voice, or you might need to do that related to your voice. I want to make sure everyone knows what the deal is. So that's kind of what this episode is for. And again, with the tarot card energy readings, yeah, that's where we're at on all of that. They were amazing. Some were interesting, and some pretty much followed the energy that I gave at the beginning when I was talking about the overall April energy readings. So yeah, for the most part, everything with the tarot card readings matched up, and you can look and see. Virgo definitely matched up. Libra pretty much matched up, even though Libra was an interesting one. Taurus matched up. It's been very interesting, and I've been having a blast doing it, and I hope that I get to continue doing it. So yeah, thank you again to everyone for your support and listening to the podcast. I sincerely appreciate it. So hopefully I will be recording an episode for Tuesday for my daily thought. I think I know what the title is. I think it's going to be, Can Bad Breath Ruin a Relationship? So yeah, I think that's what the title is going to be for the daily thought on Tuesday, as long as I can record it. We'll see how I'm feeling and how things go. And for the next 2 days, tomorrow and Monday, I'm just going to relax a little bit right after I finish recording this other episode for my other podcast. Okay, so let me get going. Thank you again for all your support. Until next time, be blessed.